Hello, everyone. This is season 7. I feel a little bit odd because it feels like I'm driving for the very first time all by myself. Yeah, Lisa's not actually far away, but she is just a little bit over there today because she's just not feeling as good as she wanted to. So welcome, everyone. I see a lot of you are already being welcomed in the chat. Lisa's in the chat, so if you want to chat with her, you're going to have to do that on the keyboard. And welcome to season 7. Happy Thanksgiving to all of our American friends and wherever you are in the world. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, well, I wanted to just say hi to a few people. Like Melanetti, zip codeless. You guys have been living full time in an RV now on the road for a year. Well done. Looks like Mary Lou Grabowski's in the house. Good to see you. Who else is here? Richard. Oh, there's so many. Thank you. I wish I could read and do this all at the same time, but I'm actually, first of all, wearing contacts. I can't see over there very easily, so please bear with me. We've got a lot to cover tonight, so I'm going to just get into it. I think we've started correctly. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, welcome. So, we've been living 3 years full-time in Bessie, and we're going to continue. It's been interesting, I'll tell you. Oh, I'm getting pop-ups. Here we go. There we go. We are not fully retired, just so you know. And so living full-time in an RV when you're not retired means you have to work. So Lisa and I have had to figure out how to make that work. As you know, we'll work camping in the summer so we can go to the States in the winter. This year we mixed it up. We actually went all the way north as far as we could go and played all summer and into the fall. And now we're sitting in the lower mainland and it's time to work again. So that's what we're doing. And it's going to be a season full of many topics. Like, here we go. How do you live full-time in an RV as a celiac? That's a topic that's coming up. How about with pets? What it takes to YouTube. That's a different one because we talked to a lot of people who say, yeah, we've put out videos. I don't think I could put one out every week. Yeah, that's been interesting. Anyways, how to drone, okay? And how do you get good at droning? And well, going up north where there's no cell service, where there's nobody, is pretty easy because then you can drone wherever and whenever you want. Anyways, all RV topics, of course. Had to be up on the RV, what was it, this morning? We were going to get some rain, and so I was up there with a caulking gun around my windshield again because it was compromised and leaking a little bit, so I had to fix that. You know, those kinds of things. This is what season 7 is going to look like. How to winter in Canada in an RV and do it well and not die. Those kinds of topics. Yeah, it's weird not having a Lisa right beside me who's responding back and forth. I'm like carrying the whole thing. I hope I'm doing okay.
You're doing great.
All right, Lisa says I'm doing great, so we'll keep going. So I want to show you just one thing, because living full-time in an RV, if you don't renovate, just might not work. And I'll show you what I mean. Right now, I'm at a desk. I've got lots of room behind me, and I have a couch. And this area was not the same when we first got Bessie. I'll show you.
Alrighty. So let's go up this big step. Alrighty, so here we go. We've got the couch here. Now I think I'm just gonna give you the basic, this is what it looks like before we do any renovations. Anybody want a family of raccoons? And what else have we got here? Here's the fridge. Pretty standard 1993 motorhome stuff. Nothing too unexpected. Here's the bathroom. Dun, da, da, da. Nice vent fan there. Definitely have some work to do when we get to it. Start peeling off some wallpaper.
It does show the coach batteries are dead.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get out of here?
I don't know.
Can you stop turning lights on then?
Okay.
Like, don't use up the batteries. Go run the engine if you have to.
No, I just wanted to see one working. And
Okay.
I did now. Thank you.
All right, so this bed is a double size, or otherwise known as a full. So we get to be cozy. And then we've got our pink valances.
I didn't really preview that video much ahead of time. It was the raw. So if we said anything inappropriate, I'm sorry. I didn't even listen to it while we did this live, so I'm sorry. It just went out that way. I'm sure it wasn't inappropriate, but yeah, that's how it was back when we first got Bessie, because back in the 90s, early 90s, when Bessie was off the lot, yeah, there was a lot of complications. Even that dinette, I think, was a redo. So actually, a lot of things in Bessie were a redo, but not tremendous. Like, there was a few things that were redone well, and then we took care of the rest to redo them. But I don't think we could live in an RV for longer than a few weekends if we didn't renovate. Okay, you'd knock your legs into that dinette all the time, and you'd say, I don't want to do this anymore. It was just in the way. There was so much real estate that was recovered as soon as we took out that dinette. And then we took out that steel frame of the couch, and it was heavy. Like, yeah, just crazy. Opened it right up. And of course we painted, and we did the wallpaper after we left 2 weeks, so that wasn't in the 2-week mark. We did the bathroom. We'd like to do more renovations, and maybe we'll be doing some of that in the spring. Probably we'll repaint the outside of Bessie with one more coat. Also, I need to take that skylight off above the bathroom and remove it, put in that foam and put it right back on. And then at the same time of doing that, I need to put another layer of roof material on the entire thing. And that actually comes out of a can and you roll it on. But it's the it's not the water-based product. It's actually the product that's going to bond forever. So that's good. The water-based product flakes off. I've done that twice in a row for a couple of years, and it just needs to now get done with the elastoplastic, I think that's what it's called, proper coating. I got that out of Ontario last year, and it was too hot to apply because when we got it to Abbotsford, it was too hot. I had to run my AC every day, so I could not run it. I could not do that because the water would stay on the roof from the AC unit. So I had to abandon that. It's still sitting in my brother's garage waiting for me to redo the roof. So as soon as it's dry and warm enough, probably March or April, we'll tackle that job. So lots of jobs to take care of. I got one other job that I have to tackle. I'm embarrassed about it, but I have a. If my black tank gets more than half full, I have a drip, and I know that's lousy, and I haven't tackled it yet because I have a cold, and I've had a struggle of just having enough energy and all that to do that, and I got other things done. So it's raining right now, so everything's still clean. And I'm leaving the tank less than half full, but I need to get that taken care of also. So that should not be a big deal. I'm expecting it not to be a big deal, and I probably will just tell you about it afterwards. I won't show you. All right. So what else do I have? Okay. What does season 7 hold for us? Okay. So as I mentioned, we need to work to have an income. So that's what we're doing now. Now, the border is open to Canadians, but not all Canadians. And we're just waiting for the policies of the border and the science to catch up with each other, so that we can have a T-cell test and be able to cross the border too. So that's going to take a few months, I'm sure. It won't be next week, but once that happens, then we'll be able to cross the border too. So we're waiting for the. I think it's where is it? In Michigan. There's senators there that are asking for the American government to have the border policy, have the proper science to make that available to Canadians, and that way we can freely travel down to the States too. There, I hope that clears up anything that that we're also waiting for. Now, a lot of you have asked. Well, I'll get to that in a minute, because a lot of people have been concerned with us. So I want you to know what it's like to live full time in an RV, and you get to your location and you just stay there for a while. Here's what I wanted to show you. Yeah, that's Daphne. That's her waiting it out. She's just like, this isn't going to last too long, right, guys? There, I hope you like that. You know what? I see something else in there, and I can't remember what that is. What is that? Oh, I know what that is. Okay. We'll leave that. Okay. We are going to get to the next thing. So we've been on now for, looks like, almost 15 minutes. How many of you want to hear more about the flood? I'm sure a few of you. I know Mary Lou Grabowski is like, have you guys been okay? We've had so many people that have contacted us and said, you guys going to be okay? And it's like, you know what? It's raining again. So this is normal for the Lower Mainland, but it is rain. So I'm going to talk to you about the flood, and I got something to show you on that. Well, let's see. Once I do that, what else do I got? Yeah. So right now, we are actually still cut off from Vancouver, mostly. The main highway is scheduled to open, I think, tonight. And then we won't be cut off from Vancouver anymore. So there's been a lot of interruptions. The biggest reason is all of the rain coming in on the Mount Baker area, and the mountains just north of Mount Baker are leading to a very swollen river called the Nooksack, and that backs up into the Sumas Prairie area near Abbotsford, BC, and that took out the number one, and it because it backed up, and there was breach of dikes because it was just too much rain too fast. And it also, as you probably know in the news, has taken out quite a few roads. Well, let's just get into it and see what we've seen. Okay, the first scene you're going to see when I send you there is Lisa and I looking at the little tiny creek that runs beside our campground that that on the Sunday night, that it got pretty intense. That little tiny creek that you can almost step across in several places. Not enough. If you have rubber boots on, you could step across easily. But with running shoes, you can't, because it's just a little bit too much most of the time. But this is what it looked like right beside the campground, remember, where we live. This is what it looked like on the Sunday night when it all got messy.
That's a huge beam.
From like a bridge,
Yeah. From like a bridge.
which is why the road is washed out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Goodbye.
Unreal. That's unreal. Okay, we need to go home. I need to feel
See that
safe.
rolling? See that big piece rolling?
Not really.
That's what's making all the noise.
As the logs are hitting the rocks underneath.
I've seen this once before. It was a sudden valley before the entire valley got wiped out.
Oh man, this is so devastating.
You know?
right, she's all packed up. We've made a plan. We're just gonna head from our campsite over to the main parking lot of the campground. We looked at the map and it looks like that would probably be pretty safe. Hopefully it's safe, and shouldn't be in the path of the flood if the berm does give way here. Super stressful, you guys. Even just trying to make this decision of like, do we stay close by? Do we try and go somewhere else? Like I said, the road's closed. We can't even like just leave the rig and then personally go anywhere. So it's a weird situation, but it's part of what you just have to do when you're in the situation. Hey guys, it stopped raining, so that is a bonus. That's a win. Oh, there's a big branch over there. Can you see it? The wind is picking up. Kent wants to move back to the site. Oh, sorry, my camera's all wet. So we're gonna do that. Right now this is where we stayed last night, in the parking lot. But I'm literally hearing big branches cracking off of trees and blowing through the wind. Which is better? Risking the trees having power so we can be warm, or risking being out here in the open and a great big gust of wind hits the side of the rig. I don't know. Anyway, Kate wants to head back, so here we go.
All right, there we go. So I tried to do a bit of a before and after. It doesn't really do justice, but it does show you that yesterday the stream was absolutely clear again, clear water completely, and you could get to where you were like 3 feet to or 4 feet, and then you could be across it, or maybe 6, but. My goodness, as soon as it rains up at Bald Mountain, the entire creek just swells again. Now, I was told today that somebody in Lindell Beach, which is really close to us, right at the end of Lindell Beach, she called in to the authorities that there was a little bit of a breach in the dike, a little hole, and the Army came in and assessed it. So we're still, this is below us, so it's not actually looking at where we are, but it is still an ongoing concern. There you go. Oh my goodness, we have a super chat. Yvonne, thank you very much for a super chat. We appreciate that a lot. I'm missing somebody who's over there on her keyboard. I'm sorry. I really miss having my my RV companion with me doing this live stream. Usually we bounce off of each other, and there's none of that tonight. So I know it's boring. So, but that's just me. There you go. So there's some really huge news for Living Light RV, and the results of that will come up on the weekend. But the really, really big news is this. Living Light RV is moving to Friday nights. Okay, did you catch that? We are no longer going to be a Thursday night drop. We're going to be a Friday night drop. This is huge. We have not done a change like this officially to make a Friday night versus Thursday night drop for 3.5 years. And we're moving to Fridays. So I don't know what moving to Fridays looks like or means or feels like, but I guess we're going to find out. So that was the big news that I needed to share with you tonight also. And let's see what else is going down. Let's see. Oh yeah. You know that... Let's see. Oh yeah. First of all, I'll get back on track. So work is resuming for us. I am actually going to work tonight. So there's one of our night cleaning jobs that we're going to take care of. Anyways, that's just the way it is. I actually have a job where I'm working with in construction. So I've been doing some some subfloor prep and some outside window work on reconstruction of housing, and working with a really nice company that have several jobs on the go. And of course, they all want them done before Christmas. Well, the flood messed everybody up, and so I'm looking forward to get back to that. And I haven't been able to do that yet, and probably Monday, Tuesday, I'll be able to be back on that. So that will start to get things back in order, where we are doing what we're supposed to be doing, instead of just sitting at Cultus Lake wondering how long can we not get out. Anyways, so that's number one, that work is resuming, and we're thankful for that. That is excellent. We're also thankful that the campground where we're staying and Bessie didn't get messed up, because it'd be one thing to evacuate Bessie out of the campground and watch the whole campground get wiped out, but then we don't have a place to go throughout the winter months, which is what we've planned on, and we actually need. We need a Canadian 1,000 Trails to be open, and we're so thankful that this Canadian 1,000 Trails is open. So we're very thankful for that. All right, let's see what else. Did you see I can... Okay, whatever. We're going to do more live streams on a continual basis throughout the winter months. Hopefully the bandwidth holds on and we can continue to do enough live streams with that bandwidth, or figure it out. There's a couple of other options we have. We can't use data. I tried that already tonight, and no, results were horrible. So yeah, it was... it's going to be the campground Wi-Fi or nothing, because the campground Wi-Fi is actually pretty solid. So who knew? Who knew? But the cell service out here is not superior at all to the campground Wi-Fi, which is odd. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, if you want to, we're going to do some behind the scenes in season 7. Oh my gosh, goodness. Okay. We just got a super chat from the Econobox Garage. And the Econobox Garage, actually, I visited the Econobox Garage back when we were in Calgary. And I was, if you're not familiar with the Econobox Garage, there's a rebuild happening of a Bug-Eye, Sprite Bug-Eye, I think. Did I get that right? I'm sorry, I'm not, I'm just going to go with that. And our friend Ian is doing a rebuild of a British classic. He is doing an amazing job, and he's doing it right from bare all the way back to full in his garage. And you can watch all those episodes on the link that I'm sure someone's going to drop right now, so that you can see the Econobox Garage and see that build. It's incredible. So I was there. I visited the Econobox Garage, and I'm going to drop that sometime this next season 7, because we're going to be doing some revisiting of things that we've done that just never made it to YouTube land and shared with you. So that's one. But thank you, Ian, Sharon. Thank you. That's like having a coffee. I love it. Okay. So that's one of the behind the scenes. Another behind the scene we're going to do is we're going to take you to some of the places where we visited this last summer and fall, up in the really wilds of Canada, Yukon, and we're going to take you just for like a 2-3 minute revisit of some of those places, and then we're going to go back. Then we're going to go back into studio, and we're going to discuss what it was like to actually be there and to experience it, and to, like, it's interesting driving from, let's say, Whitehorse to probably Burns Lake without cell service and staying in different places. Like, no data at all for days. I was going to say weeks, but it wasn't that long. And the only Wi-Fi we actually got was at the campground, and it was a little skinny, but it was enough, and that's it. You didn't even have cell service. We didn't have cell service when we were in Stewart, BC. So that was just that was interesting anyways. Let's see what else.
If people, hey Ken,
Yeah.
if people have questions about our trip, they should send us an email or leave it in the comments.
Okay, I just heard from my producer that if people have questions about our trip and would like to know more, like, who knows, like the price of fuel or where to find a sandy dump or how far up the Alaska Highway we got, any of those questions, you're welcome to leave a comment. Or is that what, hold on. Hello, producer. Did you say leave a comment? Lisa?
What's that?
Did you say leave a comment?
Yeah, comment or email info@livinglightRV.com.
Okay. Leave a comment or email us at info@livinglightrv.com, and we would love to go through that in one of our future episodes. We actually met a good amount of people while we were on the road. So we were in one of the campgrounds just out of Whitehorse, and Shannon comes walking up and says, "Hi guys, how you doing? I've watched your YouTube videos," and it's like, Shannon, this is crazy. So we actually didn't talk to her much there, but we saw her and her husband in Dawson City, and we actually went to Diamond Tooth Gertie's with them. And they went up to the top of the world highway also, and so did we. And the only problem is Shannon is a go to bed on time. Oh, I'm losing my bandwidth. There we go. So let me rephrase that. Shannon is a go to bed early type of girl. So when we experienced the Northern Lights, she was already tucked in bed, and she's like, "Oh, I wish I could experience the Northern Lights." And we said, "Well, you have to stay up till 2 a.m. then." And so that was hard for her. So, that kind of, those are the kinds of discussions that we had while we were up in Dawson City and experiencing Diamond Tooth Gertie's with friends. And, all kinds of things. Like, let me tell you one other story. We were at Five Finger Rapids. I was flying my drone. It was the second time I was there, because you drive up the highway to get there, and then you drive down the highway to get past there again. And I'm flying my drone, and a couple walks up, and I'm like this. There's only about 6 people around, and they're getting a little close, and I'm like, that's a bit odd, just my senses were they're getting a bit close. And then she's like, "Is that a DJI?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "Is that a Mavic Mini 2? And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And I'm like, okay, now I'm curious because she's asking the right questions. And so I said, and she's like, "We have one too, right there in the truck." They're from Quebec. They rented a truck in Whitehorse. They flew out to experience the North, and their drone is in their truck, and mine is flying over Five Finger Rapids. I'm like, one of us is capturing the footage that we were wanting. So she says, "My husband is afraid to fly his," and which is just the way it was. He didn't have the experience, and he was afraid to crash it. So I said, "Okay, let me land mine first." Okay, so I landed mine. I said, "Okay." I landed it, and I said, first of all, I showed her the screen. I said, "Here's what I'm looking at right now on mine." And she's like, "That's incredible." I know. It was You've seen the Five Finger Rapids. If you haven't, you can go and find it. But I was showing her the Five Finger Rapids on my screen on my phone because it was attached to my RC controller. I think that's what you call it. And she says, "We should fly ours here too." And so she turns to her husband and says, "You should get our drone and fly it." And I said, "Okay, a question for you." So I landed mine, and I said, I looked, first of all, they flew in from Quebec. They've rented a Jeep. They've got all the gear. Yeah, they're not really, really skinny on their budget in my terms. So here's what I said. I said, "Okay, let's put it this way. What if you flew your drone today and it crashed? How bad is that?" Like, I know on a scale of bad, it's like, oh, we lost our drone, but it's replaceable. What would be worse, in my opinion, is to never pull the drone out and fly it in places like that because I'm afraid of losing it. Well, then what's the point? I'd rather go and potentially... I don't know. I'm out there. There's not a lot of frequency interruption. In the cities there are. I've had it lose control a couple times, but always in the city. Never out in the country. So the chances of having a catastrophic problem, in my opinion, are worth it. So you go and fly it. You experience it. You capture footage. And if you want to be really, really ultra safe, do a really, really short flight. Take all the precautions. Don't put yourself in any kind of too far away jeopardy or anything like that. Just do a really short flight. There you go. That was just one story. So when we were leaving, guess what? They were flying their drone. I love it. Anyways.
David has a question.
David has a question. Here we go.
Did you go to the viewpoint above Dawson City?
We did. We did go to the viewpoint above Dawson City. And I'll get to RV Living Life in just a minute, and I'll tell you a story about them. But David, we did. It was really, really foggy, rainy that night. It was horrible. The weather was really bad. The wind was really bad. And you could go up on top and you could look down onto Dawson City, and it was a spectacular view under horrible conditions. So it was not something that we particularly remember well, but yes, we drove up there. We drove a lot of places. Thank you, RV Living Life. You guys rock. When you guys met us at Cultus Lake, we had just arrived. It sort of felt like we just arrived anyways. We were busy. We were getting things done, and we did not have enough time at all to properly have a fire pit and have some time for you. And I apologize. I wish we did. You guys are awesome. As soon as we pulled in the second time, and I knew it was close to when you guys were leaving, it was like, I'm working day and night the next day, and then you guys were gone. So it's like, we're not going to get together. But you guys came over and said, hey, I just want you to know, and on your phone you showed us there's a bear. And it came in, it interrupted your security camera on 2 different nights in a row. And it wandered around your rig and visited your neighbors. And you showed that to me. And I'm like, I appreciate that. Thank you. And yes, we would love to be in a campground with more time next time. Because we do that. But we couldn't this time around. But I'm glad that you guys are... Well, I know where you said you were going, and I'm glad you could. Yes, I know. And I told you to make sure that you check underneath the electrical receptacles before you plug in. Because that's where I found one of those really nasty creatures that like to crawl around in there. And so just don't get your hand in there before you look. Yes. And thank you guys. And yeah, I'm glad you missed all the fun flooding problems that have happened since. It's good that you didn't have to sit here and experience that. Okay, so we've talked about Fridays. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about. See, wow, we're doing good. Last thing I'm going to talk about is Patreon. Patreon is a really good format because when I have extra footage and when I have just extra details and other drops, that's where they go. They go exclusive to Patreons. And Patreon's a $5 a month service or more, depending on how you choose that. And you can follow along on live maps as we travel. And you can see that footage. We had one that dropped at the Arctic Circle. Yes, the Arctic Circle. And if you are a patron and have not seen that video, Go back and find it. It's extremely special, okay? And we did it just for you guys. We did it on purpose just for you guys. So if you have not seen that Arctic Circle patron video, that one is important for you guys to watch as patrons. Now, there's other things that you'll find on Patreon too, like our 25-minute drone footage, our slowed down version of our 25-minute drone footage that was exclusive to patrons. So I put that together, northern footage. I love it. If I need to have 25 minutes of just saying, you know what, I just need to put the stresses of my world aside, I'll watch that. And it's actually available for purchase also. If you want to download the URL for that, and it's a big, I think it's a 12 gig file, and own it. And the rights to use it even as a content creator. You're welcome to buy that. Just send me an email, kent@livinglightrv.com, and ask for the northern footage, and we'll discuss the rates. The rates are pretty amazing. I think you'll agree. There, get rid of that. So we want to thank our moderators also, those that have the little blue wrench beside them, because they're the ones that make sure that we don't get hijacked while we're having a live stream, because I'm not going to be reading all the comments fast enough. I'll tell you that much. And our blue wrench moderators really help to allow this to go smoothly. So I want to say thank you to all those moderators. We appreciate you guys so much. And oh yeah, there's also Zoom calls that we do on Patreon, and photographs, just the inside track. That's where you're going to find the inside track on Patreon, and we're going to do more. There's still more, like I mentioned, so much footage was grabbed in the last 6 months that it could never have made it to our regular weekly, soon to be Fridays, vlog or video journey. So I'm looking forward to that. Like the Econobox Garage, I want to have you visit the Econobox Garage with me for just that quick moment. I think that sums up everything I want to say, because I don't want to just keep going for no good reason. I'm missing my partner tonight. She is doing the best she can by moderating, by giving me comments, and I'm not used to doing this all solo, so I hope I did good enough. I think I've covered everything. I think that's about it. There is 2 questions. I'm just going to say 2 questions that come up often that people ask us, and it's just not easy to answer those questions. Like, number 1, how much is insurance? And it's about the same kind of question as how much money do I need to have in order to do this lifestyle? Those 2 questions, like, we can talk about it one-on-one, but there's no way to quantify your level of risk versus my level of risk versus what you're going to experience out there. We hit the road knowing we just had to. We just couldn't not do it. Come what may. And so that has some challenges when you just say, I've got to do this. And it's been 3 years, so it's been amazing. Like, really, really cool. But there's we know people that have rigs that are worth, I don't know, I'm going to say almost 8 to 10 times, excuse me. Hold on just a second. There. We know people that have rigs that are like 8 times or 10 times the value of Bessie's purchase price when we got her. That when they hit the road, they experience within the first 10 weeks, okay, 5 weeks, I remember 2 examples exactly of huge amounts of repairs. So how would they budget for it possibly? Well, you can't. You're either going to be prepared to replace your unit or get it fixed, and pray that it doesn't happen. And if it does, then you come up with another plan. And so sometimes that's just the only option. You have some money set aside, and if it's catastrophic and if it's more than that, well, hopefully you have insurance to cover it. But when it's repairs, you don't have insurance to cover it. So it's just a hard topic to say how much insurance do I need. It's the same as saying how much money do I need in the bank in order for us to do this lifestyle. And some people have a house that they keep paying their mortgage and their taxes and all that stuff, and they go down to the States, and it's like, well, that's not a budget that I'm even familiar with. So we are going to get into the cost of what it took to go up to the far north areas. We bought new tires and rims for our car so that we could actually not experience flat tires when we were on the Dempster. And that's been great, like just to have invest those new tires. Also, we spent a lot of money to get up to the north. All worth it. It was great. The fuel is more, but not so much more than living in Vancouver, because Vancouver experiences almost Whitehorse prices. I know that shouldn't be the case, but it is. So yeah, that's one thing. But the food costs were not bad because we shopped at the right place in Whitehorse, which was the Real Canadian Superstore. Their prices are incredibly equal in most cases to that of Calgary. So that was surprising and well done. I almost had his name. I want to say Cameron. I think his name, the manager of that store, I think his name is Cameron. Well done. Because that helps a lot of people just live by having prices that aren't extreme. Yeah. Okay, so that... I actually went and thanked him for... I saw him in the store late at night, and I walked over and thanked him. We actually stayed in his parking lot a couple nights. Well, but a couple different times anyways. And a couple nights. Because we couldn't stay at the Walmart. They said, no, you're not allowed. Can't stay overnight at the Walmart. And so we said, okay, fine. We'll go and spend our grocery money, which was going to be several $100s, somewhere else. And so we called up Cameron's place. He says, yeah, just don't park in the way of my big trucks at nighttime and you're good. And so we stayed there a few times and we thanked him. I went and showed him my bill. I said, hey, we just spent this much money. And he's like, oh, you don't have to show me that. And so, yeah, it was a good experience. So no at Walmart, yes at the Real Canadian Superstore. Thank you. Okay, that's enough about all that. I think it's just time to close out. We've covered Patreon. We've covered that we're going to be on for Fridays coming up. Hopefully that we can continue to use the bandwidth we've got at this campground to do live streams. I'll have to review it afterwards and see if it works. I keep getting warnings in OBS that says you're not having enough bandwidth, but it looks... Yeah. All right. I just got a message from my producer that if you are wintering in Canada, or if you're looking at down the road in the spring getting an RV, or if you've always thought about doing these things and you realize that you just can't and it just won't happen, and I'm speaking to somebody specifically, actually. They've contacted and reached out to me and said, I've always wanted to do this and I don't think I can. The answer is you don't have to. But do whatever your heart says you can do. Meaning, take a drive. Go and visit someplace up, 4 hours north of where you've been, and come back. Have somebody else do the driving for you if you can't do that. Experience some life that way. just give somebody else something, and let their life be enriched because you're at a place where you can't. That's okay. You can always help somebody else with their dream, and that becomes part of who you are too. If that makes sense. I think that it's like it's like buying groceries for somebody who is one of your neighbors, and you deliver them to them, and they're like, "Well, thanks," and you've done the right thing. So, yeah, I know. Sometimes you just have to hang in there, but don't forget to grab life by the tail, even if it's for somebody else, even if it's just a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to be something amazing. Even if it's a phone call to your dad or your mom, don't forget to reach out and do those things. Those things are important. So, yeah, Living Light RV says, to all of our Canadian friends, keep your stick on the ice. And to all of your American friends, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I hope you all understand those references. Yeah, I love it. So I think that wraps up everything. Just make sure you do something that makes the world a better place. That helps out your fellow human. And sometimes it's not just all about you. Because sometimes it's just not all about me. So I wanted to leave you with that. We're going to be on Fridays coming up. You're going to see our banners change. For the first while, it's going to say Thursday, nope, Friday, because I'm just going to photo edit it, shop that, and get them changed. And then you're going to see our new logos come out, and we are going to launch Season 7 with lots of other things. Like, one is our new logo. So we'll see what we do with the old logo. I built that, and I thought it was amazing, and it's taken us places. So we will see what the new logo does for us. Maybe we'll put it on Bessie. And I'm about out of steam for all this. So guys, this has been fun hanging out with you. I'm really missing my producer. She's over there, keeping me supported. And next time she's going to be sitting right here, which is where she belongs. But this time, no. And next time, yes. So guys, God bless. Happy Thanksgiving. And for all of our Canadian friends and non-American friends, go grab life by the tail. We're hoping that you have a great winter, and we hope to see you again soon. And we're going to sign off. And everybody get back to doing the things you need to do to be with family and such. Good night, guys.